Hey guys, welcome back to the channel for part 2 of guitar setup on this beautiful Schecter C6 Pro. Can you see it? Really nicely finished guitar. Unfortunately the setup on it was just way out. So today in part 2 we're going to go through and fix all the issues that we found in part 1. So if you haven't already seen part 1, probably go back, watch that and then come back to part 2 so you can understand why I'm making the changes that I am. Alright? So anyway, let's get stuck into it. Alright guys, so in part 1 we established what was wrong with this guitar. You know, quick recap, the strings are too light for the super low tuning. There's so much relief in the neck, it's got that big massive forward bow in it. It doesn't stay in tune, and if you've watched part 1 you can see where I played and it's all over the joint and very unstable. So first off, what we're going to do is get these strings off. We're going to put some heavier ones on. We're going to lift the tuning from B standard to drop C or D, depending on, we'll see how it goes and what it sounds like. We'll do a bit of fretboard conditioning because it's a bit dry, and yeah, just a string change. We'll do some truss rod adjustment. I'll show you how to do that. Some people get a bit scared of it, but as long as you take it little bits at a time, you're not going to hurt anything. Just to get the neck to sit where you want. Yeah, so let's get started and we'll get these strings off. Everyone has their way of doing things. What I tend to like to do is just get the tension off the strings as much as possible till they're quite slack. So when you cut them, they're not going to fucking fly all over the place. It seems like it's one of them things, right? It's like, to me, it's like hands on a chalkboard. Because this is like string through body, the strings feeding from the backside over the bridge into the nut, up to the tuners. I'll see like people undo it up here, not that there's anything wrong with it, it just, yeah, gives me a bit of a, oh. And they pull like 3 feet of string all the way back through the bridge and out the back of the guitar. You can obviously do that, but yeah, it's one of those hands on the chalkboard thing for me. But obviously when you put the string back through you've got to do that. But I tend to cut them in half, just pull like, you know, not in half but cut them down here and just drop the little end out and then unwind it from back up here when they're not under tension anymore. Like there's no right or wrong way, it's just, I don't know man, I'm weird like that. So then we'll grab some cutters, now that these are all loose, and just chop them. Obviously careful not to scratch the body, and make sure, well at least I make sure that I always pick up these ball ends that have been cut, because it's like you're walking around on the carpet one day and it's like a friggin' needle going into your foot. Yeah, not fun. So I'm not going to sit here and make you guys watch this crap. So I'll get rid of these strings and then we'll move on to the next thing. Alright guys, now we've got all those strings off. This is where I just like to check out the guitar a bit, especially the fretboard. It's very dry. You know, this guitar is actually really very clean. There's no scuff marks or scratches or dings or dents in it or anything. It actually looks brand new. Yeah, it is a very, very nice top on it. Poplar top, I don't know if you can see it. Yeah, really nice, and mahogany body's awesome. Alright, so before we chuck on the new set of strings, I always like to oil the fretboard, like fretboard conditioner, because especially this one, it's really quite dry. I don't even know what kind of wood that is. I don't think it's, let's have a look. Let's look up on the Schecter website. Product features, number of strings, 6. Oh. Gig bag not included. Fretboard material, Wenge. Okay, so that's what it is, Wenge. Looks pretty cool, but it's very dry. So usually, obviously, you've got a whole bunch of different products and stuff you can put on there, but I choose this. I choose this. Like I'm fucking sponsored by it or some shit, but no. This is awesome stuff. This is called Howard Weed and Wax, Weed and Feed. You know, I've just been doing the lawn. It's funny as Weed and Wax Howard's Shield of Protection. So usually it's like lemon oil and stuff that they put on like fretboard conditioner and stuff. But this is yeah, beeswax orange oil. Awesome stuff. This was given to me by my good mate Woodsy, who, if you've been on the channel for a while, you know he made that awesome Fender copy Strat out of jar. It's just killer. Anyway, yeah, cheers Woodsy for this also. This is some great stuff. Basically, it's for all types of wood. You put it on, leave it for about 10-15 minutes, depending on how dry the wood is, and it'll get in there, and you just basically buff off the excess just with a clean cloth. So let's do that now, eh? And the great thing about this stuff also is it really brings out the wood grain. So if you've got an awesome like figured fretboard, like on one of my custom guitars, I've got a quilted maple fretboard, and when I use when I use this stuff on it, it really brings the grain out. So now I'd probably leave that for about 5 or 10 minutes, depending on how much it's sucking in, how dry the wood is. If you have to, come back. If you're not satisfied with it, come back, give it another light one, leave it for another 5-10 minutes, and then wipe off the excess. And yeah. Alright guys, so it's been about 10 minutes. You can kind of see where it's sucked into the wood, and yeah, I'm pretty happy with that. So now just grab the rag of choice and just kind of just wipe off the excess. Nice. Like I said, if your fretboard is super dry and you're not happy with it, how much you put on there, you can always go back through and give it another pass. Don't put too much on it, like anything, but yeah, bit of conditioning for the old fretboard. Smells good too. Alright, so now we're going to chuck these new strings on, and like I said in the part 1, the strings that were on it were way too light. I think they were like 9s, maybe 9 to 42, and for the super low tuning that it was in B standard when I got it. Yeah, it didn't work, and yeah, if you go watch part 1, you'll see why, all that sort of stuff. So what I'm going to do with these, with this guitar, is put on these Ernie Ball beefy slinkies. They're 11 to 54s, because I'm going to put this guitar in drop C, which would be D standard, but dropping that top E. So let's chuck these strings on, and I'll show you how I do it. So yeah, with this particular setup on this guitar, it's a string through body, so you know, this is just how I do it. You don't have to do it this way, but I just put the guitar on the shoulder, put the strings through from the back, rest it on the shoulder, pull them through. I'll put them all through at once. I won't do one, put the string to the machine head, put it on, and then next and next. I'll just put them all through the body first. You know, one of the best guitars I ever played, and I wish I had bought it. I did a video for Dean Guitars here in Perth, or Guitar World, whatever you want to call it. And it was a Dean Exile. I think it was called an Exile. There's I did a video on it on my channel somewhere. Go through and find it. It's all this natural top, and it had this awesome neck on it. A neck like I've never felt before. It got wide and flat on the bottom as you came down here to do lead stuff. It was awesome. I wish I had bought that guitar. But the whole thing was, that was the first string through body guitar that I've ever really played. And just the sustain and resonance out of it. I don't know if it was because the strings went through the body or whatever, but it was such an awesome guitar. I really wish I had bought it. Alright guys, so all the strings are through the body, right? That was really hard, wasn't it? Now, I'm not going to make you sit through me running each string up to the tuner. These are standard non-locking tuners, so it takes a bit of time. So I'll get it all strung up, and then we'll come back. Oh man, I need a quick beverage break after that. I think all guitars should just have locking tuners on them. It'd be so much easier and just save a lot of time. So strings are on there. I haven't tuned it yet because what I like to do is I'll put a bit of tension on the strings and then basically just come through. I mean, probably better to just, you know, you can do it with a hand or just grab a rag and kind of don't push into the neck or into the guitar. You kind of grab the string and you like this, pull it into your hand. It's just to stretch them out because the more you stretch them before you tune it, just like this, the less time it's going to take for it to stay in tune, because new strings are going to keep stretching until, you know, they reach their point of where it's going to stay in tune. But just run through each string. This is what I do. Just pull it between your fingers like so. Whatever you do, don't pull the string up and let it go and smack into the fretboard, because if you put a little notch in one of those fret wires, when you're playing, you're going to feel it, especially when you're bending. And then if once you've got a nick in them, you're going to have to take it to a guitar luthier or repair guy, and they're going to have to, you know, recrown the frets, and they won't be able to just do that one. They'll have to go through the whole board. So just keep that in mind. Yeah, just like that. Right. Just stretch them out a bit. Now, one of the things that I've never understood is, see all this shit on the end, all this excess, right? I've never understood why I see some guitar players that just keep it on there. Like, who used to do it a lot? Was it, what's his name? Dude from, yeah, these are a bit overkill, right? Can't find my side cutters. What is he? You know, from Rage Against the Machine. Fucking memory blank. I know everyone's yelling it at me right now. Tom Morello. I always used to see him with his guitar and they just have all these strings off the end. I just couldn't work out why. It would piss me off. Remember, all these off cuts, keep an eye on them, because one goes on the floor, you'll never find it again until that day you step on it and it goes through your foot. Now that all the strings are on there, trimmed up, they're not up to tune yet, they're just under tension, stretched them out a bit. Now, in part one I talked about there's just so much relief on this neck, it's like a banana facing forward. And it's ridiculous. You can't play it like it, well, at least I can't. The strings are so high off the fretboard down here and basically touching there. So what we need to do is tighten the truss rod, and what that's going to do is it's going to bring the neck back this way, like that way. If I was to loosen it even more, it's going to bring it further forward. So tightening it up is going to force it back straight. And I mean, some people like a lot of relief in their neck, and it's just a personal thing, I guess. But when it starts affecting the way the guitar is going to stay in tune, or if it's going to play, then it's wrong. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to take the truss rod cover off, and we'll adjust the neck, try and get it to come back and sit straight, so the strings are a bit more, you know, level across the board. I'm not a big fan of the way that it is at the moment. And I mean, a quick way, I don't really have a flat edge in here, but the quick way to check is you can kind of like put your finger down this end, maybe around the 17th, 18th fret, and then on the first do the same thing, and you can kind of touch in the middle, and so that's too much. It's too high off the fretboard, and you can do the same down here. Kind of use the string as a straight edge and just push down, especially up. Yeah, it's too much. It needs to be brought back a bit. So I'll take the truss rod cover off, we'll tighten it up a bit, and we'll see if we can get it to sit straight. Let's do it. Alright guys, truss rod cover is off. So now what we're going to do is adjust the truss rod to straighten the neck out, because like I said, there's too much relief in it. So we want to bring that back. So to bring it back, you tighten it up. Now always remember the rule, lefty loosey, righty tighty, right? Lefty loosey, righty tighty, right? As in okay. Right. So when you do this, you don't want to crank on it, just small quarter of a turn at a time. Like so. And then you basically come back and just check on it. Could probably go a touch more, like so. I need a better bench, right? That's like, yeah, that's heaps better than it was before. I'll get it right up into tune and then see where we're going to sit. Alright guys, so I got my TC Electronic Polytune here, and yeah, just going to go through, tune it up. Like I said, I'm going to put this guitar in drop C. I can already tell, compared to the way this guitar was set up before, this is already, it's got brand new strings on it, and it's, I mean look, it's already staying in tune. Alright guys, it's a big difference compared to the way it was set up before when I first got it. Like you would have seen in part 1, yeah, it was all over the joint. This has got new strings on it. I mean, I've stretched them out a bit, but it's still staying in tune pretty well. Yeah, now there's just the harmonics you can get out of the thing sick. Yeah, awesome. So what do you reckon, guys? What do you think? Let me know in the comments below. Over the next couple of days I'll probably, you know, once the strings settle down, I might just tweak on the neck a little bit more. You know, once everything's settled down, because I've done a fair bit of adjustment to it pretty quickly on new strings. So yeah, when the strings wear in a bit, I'll give it another check over and see where it's at. But at the moment it plays so much better than it did when I first got it. Well, because I've set it up for myself now, right? So, but yeah, it's a great guitar. Finished really well. I'm not too big on the neck, but that's nothing wrong with the guitar. That's just me. It's quite thin. I like them to be a bit bigger. But other than that, it's a great playing guitar. So yeah, stay tuned for part 3. It's going to be coming soon. A killer new song for you guys. All recorded with this guitar and through these beasts of the amps behind me. I'll do another blend with the Ingle, the Diesel, maybe throw the Marshall in there as well. I don't know if you guys see him. I'm sure you guys who come here on a regular basis have seen it before. So. What? G'day mate. What's happening? Hey, come here. The beverage deliverer. Come here mate. Come on. Come say hi. Come here. Come say hi to the people. Come. Hey. He's on. Well, on that note, cheers guys. Oh shit! Anyway, thanks guys, thanks for being here again. Stay tuned for part 3. The song's coming soon. I'll see you then. Cheers guys.